Alright, so in this battle, we're taking on Silly X Goose, or however you pronounce that, I don't know. But anyways, you can see that this guy has an insanely stacked setup. Like, this is crazy right here. Like, man, he told me before this game he was using Ubers, and I was assuming, like, Mega Blaziken, Greninja with like protein or protein, I don't know, and just like lower tier. But no, this man's got Zekrom, Reshiram, and Deoxys. Man, he's got the full team going down. Like, his whole team is basically Ubers, which is insanely crazy. And I was thinking, well, these are probably spawned in based on the fact that he already has his Blaziken and Greninja in their like mega forms. Basically, Ash Greninja. Like, when you try and spawn Ash Greninja, that's what happens. Like, it'll give you the Ash like form, if that makes sense. So I have a feeling that he spawned in all these Pokemon. There's no way that these are legitimate. So anyways, he leads with Deoxys, and like, I know that I'm in big trouble right here because, like, Deoxys can get a crazy move pool. But anyways, here though, I was thinking, well, I should theoretically be able to live whatever he chose, because Tangrowth normally won't get one-shotted, even like with a super effective move, because it's just that bulky. That's why I just love using it. It's a great way to lead. And I also have pressure with Sleep Powder, because that can be absolutely detrimental to the opponent. So anyways though, here he goes for an Ice Beam, which I did not actually expect him to have, and that did huge damage. Like, man, that's crazy right there. But luckily I was able to survive. But then again, of course, I have to miss my Sleep Powder when it matters, and that's too bad though. So I figured, well, the good thing is that he's probably gonna go for Ice Beam again, if he's predictable. Although really, like, you shouldn't go for Ice Beam again. Like, why do you need to do that? Because I'm at 12 HP, so really anything should be able to finish me off, and it's probably kind of obvious I'm going to switch out with Regenerators. So anyways though, I am able to get Scizor in pretty safely, and now I got pressure with Bullet Punch. Although at the same time, you do not mess around with people with Ubers. There's a reason that they're Uber tier, because of how broken they are. So really, he could go for anything else. Like, if he had some sort of super effective move, now it's unlikely he's gonna have Fire Punch, but he could have, like, some sort of coverage that can do good damage. Like, luckily we resist Psycho Boost, which is Deoxys' main move. But I don't know, I don't want to mess around with this guy, especially because it has a 150 base attack stat. So I'm playing it safe and just going for a Bullet Punch here. Now, of course, he actually has some good switching options. Like, he has Blaziken, he has Reshiram, and in fact, he does choose to go into Reshiram here, which is actually not the worst, because it doesn't really have the highest physical bulk. It's more so like especially offensive Pokemon. So that actually does some pretty solid damage. I mean, it's not, amazing, but considering the fact that it's Bullet Punch, I'm pretty satisfied with that. So anyways though, I'm thinking, well, I should probably go into Chandelure. Now, one mistake I made is I forgot that Reshiram has Turbo Blaze. I believe that's the ability, which is like basically the equivalent of Mold Breaker. So that basically invalidates my Flash Fire, so I couldn't come in and be immune, and it was still able to actually hit me. I was like, well, I was confused initially. So I was trying to highlight my Flash Fire. I was like, why did that not work there? I mean, it was pretty obvious he was gonna go for a fire move, but I didn't realize that Turbo Blaze would basically invalidate that. So anyways though, here I'm thinking, well, what should I do? Because like, nothing else really wants to come in on another Blue Flare, or perhaps even a Draco Meteor. I mean, Toxapex probably would have been the best play at the start if I'd realized that this had Turbo Blaze, but I didn't realize that initially. So anyways though, I did go for a Shadow Ball, and that did some really good damage right there. So even though we lose Chandelure, that was definitely worth it, because now the Reshiram is low enough to where something like Absol or even Scizor can come in, and well, Scizor couldn't finish it off, but Absol can, and that's good enough. So anyways though, here I decided to just go for a Sucker Punch, because truth be told, I still haven't figured out if this game uses the Gen 6 mechanic, where on turn 1 you use your pre-Mega Evolution speed, and Absol is actually slow in base form. Like, I think it's base 70 speed, whereas in Mega form it goes all the way up to 115, which is a huge upgrade. So anyways though, I play it safe and go for the Sucker Punch, but this actually turns out to be a horrible move, because he switches out into Zeraora, and Zeraora is not going to be affected by the Sucker Punch, because it only works if the opponent attack. So I mean, this was kind of a bad play. I mean, I guess, but not fully, because I did it for a reason. But because like, you have to consider, now that I lost there is no justification for losing Absol. Like, this is my key to victory here. I mean, I do have my tanks, but really the best way to take out someone that's using Uber Pokemon is to sweep with something like Absol or Volcarona. And I don't have my Volcarona with me, unfortunately, for this battle. But Absol was going to be my key to actually getting the win here. Because like I said, none of my tank Pokemon really ever want to come in, unlike Zekrom or Reshiram, because they just have ludicrous attack stats. And that's why they're banned in the first place. So anyways though, here I go into Tangrowth, into this Zeraora. And unfortunately, because I had taken in that Ice Beam, I mean, I'm at pretty low health, so I can't really use my Tangrowth as effectively as I normally do, but I am lucky and blessed to have it with me, because, if I didn't, it could be a problem. So anyways, I go into Toxapex right here. I guess this was a prediction. He goes for the Plasma Fist. It's about time he predicted something, and that does huge damage right there. Like, that is close to a one-shot. Luckily, though, I do have tanks, so they are both taking these hits pretty good. And, the good thing is I'm able to get HP back in my Tangrowth because of Regenerator. Like, you have to understand, when you're using Regenerator Pokemon, you gotta switch out. Like, that's basically a key factor of, like, what they do. And, that's what I like about them, too, is they can come in and then, switch them out. And then, like, they won't be affected in most cases. Like, I basically got all my HP back on Tangrowth that I took from that close combat. So now I'm thinking, well, this could be a good chance to get Scizor in, because no matter what he goes for, like, even if he goes for Plasma Fits or close combat, it's probably still going to do some big damage, but I will be able to come in and pressure him with a Bullet Punch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because this guy's now at -1 on defense, although the only issue is Zeraora does have a resistance because of its electric typing, but I was like, well, with the Life Orb damage and everything, it should be enough to hopefully take care of this Zeraora. Now right here, he actually barely lives and finishes off my Scizor with a Plasma Fist, which is too bad, because keeping Scizor alive is really nice if you can, but right there we lost it. But it is what it is, because it's not like, the biggest issue, because although Scizor is good against standard Pokemon, I mean, this guy uses a full team of Ubers, especially Blaziken and Greninja. Like, those are the less scary Ubers that are still gonna have good resistances against it. Zekrom is gonna really be affected by Scizor, and Reshiram has a resistance too, so really it's not that useful in this battle other than, dispatching Deoxys. Like, that's the main thing that it could do. So here though, I go into Absol, he goes into Blaziken, and I could go for a play rough. You would think that would be the best play, although at the same time I wasn't sure if this guy was gonna go for a Protect, and I don't want to get this guy like set up, so I decided to go into Togekiss just in case he went for Protect, because if he did, then I get it in safely. If not, it's fine, because I know he's gonna go for a high jump kick because it's a super effective attack, so I can come in safely just like that. So anyways though, what I want to get off is Paralysis, because if I can get that on Blaziken, then Absol can probably come in safely without that much concern. So and then in addition, Blaziken is really the main thing that kind of shuts it down, because of its fighting type and its ability to outspeed my Absol. So I can't really, I mean, I could probably do big damage with Sucker Punch, but it's not worth it trading off Blaziken for Absol, because Absol is far more important to me than Blaziken is important to him. So anyways, here though, he does switch out into his Greninja on the Paralysis, which is actually pretty good, because getting Greninja paralyzed can be pretty useful, because it can be a pretty scary Pokemon. So here though, he goes for an Ice Beam, which was kind of predictable. Because of my water typing, I'm able to take it in pretty good. I mean, really, I could just stay into Togekiss if I wanted to, because Togekiss has that move called Roost, where if you use it on the turn that you use it, you lose your flying typing, and I actually really like that, because it comes in more useful defensively than it does like with offense. Because sometimes you might say, well, you can use Earthquake, and the opponent can like use moves that would be super effective to you without the flying typing. But like I rarely see people do that, and I see more of you actually using it defensively, so that you lose your flying typing, and then you can resist attacks. Like against Greninja, that makes the Togekiss matchup pretty good because of Roost. So anyways, I decided to switch back into it in case he goes for like a Dark Pulse or something. But instead he actually withdraws and goes right into his Zekrom. And this is pretty bad. Now, if I had Dazzling Gleam, it wouldn't be such a bad issue, but, it has Bolt Strike, and I really can't do anything to this Zekrom because of the nature of my moveset. I have Air Slash instead, because I find that to be more effective because of Paralysis and Serene Grace as being more of a strategy. Now, it's not really the most, like, honorable strategy, which is why I rarely ever use it. I tend to switch out instead, but you know, that's there in case you ever need it in a desperate time. So here he goes for a ball strike, and you know, the more he attacks, the better it is, because you know, I have Rocky Helmet and I have Regenerator, so I can really come in on hits, and you know, he's gonna take some damage. Now, one thing I found out later in this battle is that this man actually packs Roost on this deck ROM. So it is actually like, this is a proper Uber setup right here. This is not like a roulette Uber. Like this guy got the proper full deal, and all of them are shiny at that too. So you know, like this is no joke right here. So anyways though, I go for a sleep powder because I don't want him to predict me switching out, and I'm glad actually. I was expecting him to attack. Like I was willing to sacrifice Tangrowth here if he went for an outrage, but luckily he does end up switching out, and I'm able to land my sleep powder here on this Deoxys. So I find this to be a great opportunity to go into my Absol, and with Absol I can start trying to set up. Now, truth be told, really, if he goes into Blaziken, it can kind of shut my stuff down if he goes for like Protect and then outspeeds me the next turn, because I don't really have a guarantee that I can one-shot him with Sucker Punch. Now, if it wasn't resisted, that would definitely be a guarantee, but you know, I mean, it's a resisted attack, so I don't really want to take that risk, especially because Absol is going to be pretty important to taking out like Zekrom and Reshiram and a couple of his Pokemon, because it has Play Rough, and that's a pretty good move, at least in this battle. So anyways though, here for some reason he goes for a struggle. I'm not quite sure what that was about, but you know, it did end up working in my favor, because that means that now I can finish him off with a Sucker Punch. And let's say he had like some sort of fighting move and he decided to use it right there, that boy would have one-shot my Absol and foiled all my plans. So the good thing is that we are able to take it out here with a Sucker Punch, because I mean, of course he's gonna attack. He's a Deoxys, and Deoxys normally will run, you know, all offensive sets. Now there are some that run Stop Rock and will have some sort of coverage, but that's not too common, because Deoxys already has high enough attack to where you can get in and just, you know, just deal damage. So here he goes into Blaziken, and I'm a +2, so it is kind of up to me now if I want to really take the risk and go for a Sucker Punch, if I want to go for a Play Rough, because you know, he shouldn't theoretically outspeed me just yet, because Blaziken only has 100 base speed and Mega Form, but after one turn, if he goes for Protect, then he will be able to outspeed me. And I wasn't sure if I wanted this guy, you know, like going around. Now, truth be told, the best move probably would have just been to go for a Play Rough and try and knock this out, because then I could have just, you know, swept the rest of this guy's team, but instead I decided to just play it safe and go into Togekiss. Now in hindsight, I do regret that, so I probably shouldn't just attacked, and in this case he went for a Blaze Kick rather than a Protect. So I mean, it would have just, you know, it would have been effective, but I didn't think about it back then, so you know, it is what it is. Now, one other thing I will mention, Play Rough does have a 90% accuracy chance, and although that is high, I always have it to miss it. I don't know why. Like I have the worst luck with Play Rough. Like out of all the moves, it's Play Rough that's the one I miss the most. So anyways though, I decided to go for an Air Slash. He goes into his Greninja, which is totally fine, because you know, I mean, like really, what's this guy gonna do to me? Even if he goes for an Ice Beam, it's not gonna one-shot. It's gonna be a two-shot. And I can just go for Roost because he's paralyzed, so he's not gonna outspeed me. Now I got a critical hit there, but you know, unfortunately it wasn't enough to finish him off. But the good thing was that I did get the flinch, which was nice. Now I do feel a bit bad about this, because I'm not really one to enjoy this strategy of Air Slash and Paralysis, because it is really annoying when someone does that to you. So I mean, in this situation though, I did have to do this, because I mean, really, what else could I do? Absol doesn't want to come in. I mean, it could come in, but like I need to preserve Absol, so I didn't really want to bring it in this case. And my Tangrowth doesn't want to come in Ice Beam, and Toxapex just, it can't really do anything against Greninja, so you know, it's not really the optimal play. So anyways, here he goes into Zekrom, and I already know that Tangrowth is probably a good check, because you know, I resist his attacks pretty well, and every time he does something, he's gonna take some chip damage because of the Rocky Helmet. So this just works out really good. And I go for Sleep Powder again, because you know, that's really just the best move to use against this guy, because you know, it basically you know, capitalizes off the switch, and you know, it can be really useful for me. So that's why I decided to go for it. And you know, truth be told though, this Zekrom does have potential to be scary, because Zekrom gets Dragon Dance, and that makes it one of the good Ubers. I mean, it's Reshiram in comparison, it hits like a truck, but it's more in the lower tier for Uber Pokemon. So it doesn't really have a way to raise its speed, so it can be shut down by Pokemon that are faster and physical. So anyways, here I get the sleep powder in the Blaziken, which is great because, you know, now he can't really wreak havoc to the same extent that he was before. And truth be told, Absol could also just come in and go for a play rough, although, you know, I didn't really want to take the risk because now he has +1 on speed, and, you know, like, let's say he wakes up the first turn, then that's guaranteed a one-shot on my Absol, and I need that to take care of the rest of his Pokemon. This Absol basically will be able to clean the rest of his team if I break him down enough to where, you know, it's basically like a late game sweep. So anyways, here, he actually does manage to survive the Air Slash, but, you know, it's good because he's low enough to where a Sucker Punch will be able to finish him off. And, you know, no matter what he does, there's no way he has recovery because no one running Blaziken will run recovery. So the only thing he can do is Swords Dance and Protect, and he doesn't even have any way to recover the HP. So eventually, he can inevitably get knocked out by Sucker Punch. So anyways, here I go for the Air Slash, and it is enough to take care of the Blaziken. And he went for a Blaze Kick, but that really wasn't that much damage, so it was totally fine. And now he only has like 2 Pokemon left, I'm pretty sure. I think it's just Zekrom and Reshiram, which still can get out of hand really quickly because they are, once again, Uber Pokemon for a reason, because they have crazy good base stat totals, and they have defense too. It's not like they just hit hard. Like, these Pokemon can take hits really good. So anyways though, Tangrowth is my definitive check to Zekrom because I resist his electric type attacks, and really, you know, the best thing you can do is dragon type attacks. The best of which for him is Outrage, and that's not really, you know, the worst thing, because if he goes for Outrage, I'll just go into Togekiss. I mean, he could even have Dragon Claw, but like Dragon Claw doesn't do that much damage compared to Outrage. So here though, he does go for his Outrage, and that does some pretty big damage. Like, that's 70 damage right there, and considering that this is Tangrowth, that's pretty impressive. And of course my sleep powder misses. So anyways though, here it's fine because I can just go into Togekiss and regenerate all that HP regenerator. So he goes for his second Outrage, and of course, you know, it's a 2-turn thing, so I mean that's still fine because I really couldn't do much against him because I only have Air Slash, and that's not really gonna do that, you know, that much damage. Although it is still, like, you know, a special attack, and Zekrom is more of a physically defensive Pokemon, so, you know, it still probably would do something. So anyways, here I decided to go into Tangrowth, just in case he went for another Bulk Strike, because he's gonna take chip damage from the Rocky Helmet, and that's always a great thing. So, you know, that's that right there. He does take some good chip, and I decided that, you know, I'm probably just gonna go for another sleep powder, or actually I went for Rock Tomb here. I guess I got that wrong, but I mean, I guess the main ideal is just getting him low enough in speed. So, you know, I'm not fully sure. I guess slow enough to where Tangrowth could outspeed or something like that. I mean, I don't know, but, you know, it is what it is. So anyways, that does work out pretty good. I mean, I landed, although it doesn't really do that much damage, but I mean, I can't really do that much to him because knockoff isn't gonna matter that much because he lost his barrier already. So Rock Tomb really is the best attacking move, unless I want to go for Sleep Powder, although I didn't see the need for that just yet. Although this turn I was like, well, now I probably should do it because, you know, I guess I wasn't considering the fact that he had Roost, but, you know, right here though, he's actually able to knock me out with Outrage before I could actually administer the sleep. So I decided to just go into Absol. But the good thing is I did keep this guy alive, so I can just go in and safely administer the play rough. Now all I needed to do is land it, which I did, and that's good because now Zekrom is eliminated, and all he has left is his Reshiram, and Reshiram doesn't even resist Air Slash. So, you know, even if this Absol somehow does not KO it, I'm still basically guaranteed to win 2 Toxapex and Togekiss. I can just go for Toxic and then finish him off with Air Slash. So that is GG. I was surprised. I did not expect to win this battle, especially considering he was using like a whole team of Ubers, but somehow we still made it happen. And these aren't even just standard Ubers. These are PvP bred shiny Ubers, which is kind of crazy, but we are able to take them down, and that right there is GG. That was a good game.